Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is Friday morning, the best place to possibly be, right here with your Vector crew, the Empire Division. Super excited for what we're going to be covering today. We got some SC2 debriefs for people that were not able to be at the conference the other day. We're going to be planning out the month of August, going over the recent contests that were announced here. So let's go ahead and let's get involved. Let's dive in. Let's take action. Okay? So, probably the greatest place on earth. As I always tell you guys, who's got it better than us? Absolutely, positively, nobody in the entire world. So, you're at the right place at the right time. Can't picture a better place for you to be, other than maybe a Metallica concert with like 300,000 other people, like what's playing in the background right now. That would be pretty sweet too. Let's see. If you're not on the WhatsApp group yet, guys, bit.ly/join Empire Squad Chat. So if you're like, I don't know what's going on in the future, well, pay attention to the group chat, or check out the Buff Rep dashboard. We usually post our things going on right there. Okay. So if you're not familiar with the Buffalo Rep dashboard, you gotta get familiarized with that website, because there are so many different things, that like resources to learn, get better, all those things on that website right there. Okay. So I certainly want to make sure that you guys are aware of all that. Let's talk about what are the four things that we do literally every single week. Well, every single week, guys, we recognize people, we learn and get better, we have some fun, and we're always getting booked up. All right. So for today's agenda, like I said, we're gonna have some discussion, we're gonna do some planning. We got some SC2 debriefing coming up here today, and we'll wrap things up with some phone jam. So first thing I want to cover here today is a video that we saw at SC2 from Gary V. It's just called August. Okay. So our lesson from Hollywood here today is simply titled August. And Gary V is going to talk about going all out in August. Let's check it out.
I call this video August, and I'll tell you why. August fascinates me. I grew up in the wine business, where you did a lot of business with Europe. In the late 90s, early 2000s, I was always confused by August, because August was the time that I completely got in the zone, because I knew everybody was sleeping. And what I mean by that is everybody was on vacation. In Europe, all my vendors, they were gone the whole month, ghost. In the US, a couple weeks here, a couple weeks there, and it was really interesting. I just really used it as my time to get ready for that fourth quarter, right? People came back in September and they were like just rolling fast for that prime time. I was in retail. For all you young hustlers out there, or old hustlers out there, August is the month. This is the month where, guys, even I'm taking plenty of time with my family. This is when people really slow it down. Look for those out of office replies, because they're on the up during August. And if you're watching this video right now, and if you want it as bad as I hear you want it, and if this is your year, and if 2017 is gonna be your year, and if this is your moment, and if you're sick and tired, and it's your time, then my friends, you need to understand that these 30, is there 30 or 31? These 31, I think, 31 days, hope that's right, in August. These 31 days in August is exactly when you triple down, when you 4X, 5X down in your hustle. While everybody's at the pool drinking rosé, this is when you put in the grinding hours and get ready for your master plan. August, my friends, is always the month that sets the tone for your future, for all the people that are complaining or disappointed at where they're at. Now, I'm gonna flip you a little bit. August is also the month for all those people that are content, got bags under their eyes, hustled all year, crushing it. It's a very strategic month to kind of go into that rest period. Get a little sun, play a little tennis, play in the pool with your friends, your girlfriend, and your kids. August is such an interesting month for me. You can play it one or two ways, but it depends on where your head's at right now.
It'll be over before you blink, so don't blink. just don't blink.
August, ladies and gents, August. It's your choice. What do you want? What do you want the end of this summer to be like for you? It's either going to be an exclamation or a redemption if you do it right. So let's say you haven't been doing things necessarily maybe the way that you should be doing them. Well, this is your redemption month. This is your month to like get it all started going in the right direction. So you need that. Like, and a lot of people, like he said, a lot of people in life, they slow down in August, okay? But in my opinion, you got to earn the slowdown, okay? What does that mean? What does earning the slowdown mean? That means that we work hard and we play hard, but in order to play hard, you should probably earn it. You should probably work hard first, right? So earn the slowdown. Feel good if you're taking like a little bit more time off. How do you feel good about taking time off? When you know that you earned it, when you know that you worked really hard to build up to get to places like that. And it's not just here, it's with everything that you do, okay? Whether you're taking a summer class or you're in a sport or whatever it happens to be, earn that time off, earn those extra days off, whatever it happens to be, okay? I'm not just talking like, oh, you work hard for like a day, 2 days, something like that, and then you go take like 3 weeks off. I mean, like, you work hard consistently week in and week out. You do the right things, okay? That's super, super important. So without question, August can be your month to shine, as Casey said it, or it could be your month that you kind of hide away, but it's going to be up to you. We can't, like, no one can do it for you in this job, outside of the job, whatever it happens to be. So it's really important that you take the month seriously, that if you like that, that's why we're going to do some planning here today, because you got to plan out everything that you possibly can. Okay. Super, super important. So next up, our Power 5 list. Have you been making your Power 5 list? Are you writing things down? Are you planning out the next day before you go to bed? So whether it's in your phone, whether it's like in a notebook, whether it's like on your, like on a calendar or whatever, like whatever it is, like what is your system for planning and prioritizing and execution? Okay. Because when you look back and you ask yourself this question, hey, what happened last week? And how do I feel about it? When you look back and you ask those questions, you're usually going to be either upset or you're going to be really, really happy based upon how much you prioritized, execute what you were supposed to do. So that's typically where confidence comes from. Comes from just simply doing what you are supposed to do. So got to prioritize and execute. So what were your priorities last week? Does your schedule, like if you look back, you audited your schedule, would it say that those were actually your priorities? Is that what you executed on? Because those are always questions you got to be asking yourself, right? And if not, well, last week's over, the last 7 days, whatever it is. So it's time to right the ship today. Okay. Think about it like this. If I'm driving a car and I'm all over the road, like I'm not staying in between the lines like I'm supposed to, and I'm like going off the freaking rails, like I'm about to, like, I'm headed like towards the woods, I'm gonna crash or something. Does it make any sense if I know that I'm going that way? Does it make any sense to not course correct and get back on the road? No, it would make zero sense to just stay on the path, knowingly staying on the path that I'm going down. So same thing in vector. If you know you haven't been doing things the right way, okay, if you know that there's like, you haven't really been living up to your potential, well, it would be foolish to stay down that road, right? That would make no sense. So you course correct. You don't double down on doing something not smart. You then start doing what you know you're supposed to do. Same thing works right here, okay? So what do we tell you every single week? Typically, what it comes down to is you got to make a schedule. You have to have goals that you're aiming for, and you got to have good communication with your manager and your coach, okay? Because here's the deal. If you are good enough to do this entire job without your manager, without like accountability and coaching and things like that, there would be no reason for myself, Isaac, Jacob, Brian, Case, there'd be no purpose for us to even have a job. Also, you'd be a lot higher in sales if that was the case, because some of you, I know, have really slacked on your communication with your manager, and you'd be a lot higher in sales if that's what led you to more success. There's a 1000% correlation. The more you talk to your manager, the more you get help, the more questions you ask, things like that, the better that you're going to do. You just have to execute. You just have to take action, okay? Super, super, super important. Next up, next division or next regional event, guys, is well, there's like a visualization of this on the next page, but we got the TLA Summit coming up. We got Green Lakes Day coming up. So check this out, okay? So I posted this in the Empire WhatsApp chat, but we got today's team meeting. We're on August 5th. Next week, Chris is doing his tour of New York State. He's running TLA interviews all week. By the way, props to Casey on the call for getting pre-acceptance into the Leadership Academy. Nice job, Casey. That's awesome. Also, Catherine and Caleb got that as well. So then next Friday, we got our next team meeting, okay? And then on the 16th, for those accepted or possibly being accepted into TLA, we got the summit on Zoom from 10 o'clock to 12:30. The following day, we got the in-person event, Empire Green Lakes Day. That'll be in Syracuse at Green Lake State Park from about 1 o'clock to 6 o'clock approximately. And then the following day, or the following 2 days later, we got our team meeting in the morning, same time, same station, okay? The following week, starting on the 24th, we're going back to Wednesday afternoon / evening team meetings. School year starting for most people, so most people will not even be available Friday mornings anymore after that. So that'll be Wednesday afternoon / evenings. The exact time still to be determined. And then, of course, on 31st, again, team meeting. And then on Thursday, September 1st, if you're in the Buffalo area and you want to help me out at a campus table, we have a campus table from 11 o'clock to 1:30 that if anyone is in the Buffalo area and you want to help at that, just help us advertise the position, just hand out cards to people, stuff like that. We'll be taking applications there, okay? Also, we got a few contests that were just announced. Check this out. Jeff Bry's blowing the budget here. Check this out, though. Every $1,000 that you sell this week from August 2nd to August 8th gets you into a chance to win 50% of the trip of the Bahamas. The drawing will be held on Wednesday, August 10th. So if you sell $1,000, you have one chance. 2K equals 2 chances. For example, 6K equals 6 chances. So you could literally win the trip to, because you have to qualify at least 50%. So you could literally win the trip to the Bahamas just for selling $1,000 next week. Jeff Bry wants like every single person to be there. So he's making all these ridiculous contests. Also, check this out. This started 3 days ago, August 2nd. But for everyone on the call, that's either a sales rep or an assistant manager, look at this. $5,000 in personal sales for the month. That's literally 1,250 CPO a week. That's a homemaker a week. And you get 25%. 7K in personal sales, it's like $1,750 per week. You get 50% of the Bahamas. 9K personal sales, you get it at 75%. And if you sell $11,000 this week, free of charge, FOC, Bahamas. That's stupid. I didn't have that when I was a sales rep. This is ridiculous. So take full advantage of all this stuff that they're putting out there for you guys. Take full advantage of it each step of the way. Okay. We got some recognition to do, though. Want to recognize some newsletters. Hannah Johnson from Erie coming in at 1512. She makes 30%. Great job, Hannah. Samantha Ernest. Whoops, that's the wrong thing. I don't know why I circled East Cincinnati. No big deal. Good job, Samantha, whoever that is. Okay. Then we got Casey Glass coming in last week, 2564. Great job, Casey. Catherine Hawkins also finishing strong, 2814. Leslie Krebs on here every week, 3203. Great job, Leslie. On the next page, we got Abigail having her biggest week ever at 4616. Great job, Abigail. Marissa coming in at 5297. We got Case Koenig coming in at 6505. We got Isaac Colvin coming in at 6681. Renee Johnson at 7759. And then check out the front page of the newsletter, guys. 8831 got you to the number 20 spot. So you had to sell $8,831 just to be number 20 in the entire region. And then Rob Robachek, number 1, selling a $82,548 last week. Just he had 156 orders in the 21-day push. 156 orders. Like, so if you thought you worked hard, imagine working to produce 156 orders. That is just insane. It's crazy, but awesome. Abigail, number 1 new sales rep of the week at 4616. Like I said, and then I want to do just some quick hot news. Brian, Isaac, Jacob, anyone, if anyone wants to share hot news, I'm going to mute myself. Go ahead and take away. We'll start with Brian. Okay.
Oh yeah, so as we just mentioned, Abigail having her best week of her career so far, selling over $4,000, which is pretty cool, finishing the SC2 push strong. We also had Isaac selling over $6,000 last week, won a trophy at SC2, which is pretty exciting. I think it was either top 20 or top 30. I can't remember how many trophies they gave out, but let's go with top 30. And yeah, he's top 30 out of a couple hundred different representatives. So great job to you, Isaac. We also, though, had Renee over $7,000 last week. Lilia almost to the newsletter, just missing it by like cutting board sale. Emily, Sarah, and Ruth getting things going on the board last week. I believe that was Sarah's first sale. So great job to you, Sarah, for some money. And Ruth is closing in. I want to say she's super, super close to her 3K promotion as well. And then I know Gabe. Gabe hit his first promotion this past week and nearing in on his second promotion, his 3K promotion, and just getting things going for this week so far. I know Renee's at $2,400 already for the week, and I think she has a show this weekend as well, so I wouldn't be surprised if she's over 5K for the week. And then getting things going, we have Frank, Emily, and Zahara getting things rolling for the week with a lot more exciting stuff happening this weekend.
Great stuff, Syracuse. Hudson Valley or Utica Rome. Anything that you guys want to cover, or if you're good, give me a thumbs up.
I'll just cover a few things here. Can you guys hear me, Josh? All right, cool. Yeah, so shout out last week. We had a few people on the board. Just want to highlight Nate. So Nate hadn't placed an order in a while, came back into Cutco. So it was super exciting for Nate. And then this week, myself, I'm at an event. So I'm excited about that, slinging some blades myself, trying to lead the way for our team. And then also Randy on the team placed an order as well. And shout out to Austin. Austin got to run his first interview yesterday. So super exciting for Austin. That's what we got.
Sounds like really good things coming out of Hudson Valley for sure. A couple things I want to mention. I want to recognize Casey for getting his 30K promotion in front of the entire Midwest region. That was definitely sweet. He also got up on stage for selling over 5K for the push, got to announce his sales report in front of the whole thing. Also, I want to definitely also talk about, I want to recognize Casey for investing in himself, not just for SC2, but he's actually doing paid coaching with Cutco Rob Brandt. So doing paid coaching, and like he's seeing dividends come from it already. Sent out one text message yesterday, got a bunch like to people that like in his past customers list and everything, got a bunch of sales coming up just from one single text message that was blasted out there that Cutco Rob teaches his all-American clients. So definitely want to give lots of praise to Casey. Also, Casey is on the lookout, just so you all know, he's on the lookout to organize a group of sales representatives. I'm talking not branches or districts, but representatives and assistant managers like himself to be in like an empire group essentially on WhatsApp, and to do phone jams together, like an accountability group to each other. So if that's something that you would be interested in, make sure that you reach out to Casey either on WhatsApp or in the chat or whatever it happens to be, because I know that he's taken a bit. He's got a lot of people looking up to him right now. A lot of people have been reaching out to him for tips and things like that. And he knows that the best minds, when they all come together, that everybody can come up with some really great ideas and really great accountability groups together. So make sure you reach out to Casey for that if that's something that you'd be interested in, taking your sales to the highest level. And if you have no idea, like if you're brand new or something like that, to give you an idea, around a full-time career, Casey has sold over $30,000 since the beginning of April. So we got April, May, June, July. So in 4 months, he's averaged about over $8,000 in sales per month. So it's definitely someone that I would want to take some notes from and get connected with and all that good stuff. Okay. Which that leads me to our next topic of the day is we're going to be talking about some SC2 conference debriefing. So branches and AMs. I'm going to start with Casey and then we'll go to Isaac after that. I just want 1 or 2 minutes or however long that you want. Like, what were your top takeaways? What were your favorite things about the conference? What did everybody miss? Why do they absolutely want to make sure that they don't miss the next one? So we'll go Casey first, and then we'll go Isaac right afterwards. So go ahead and take it away.
All right. Thanks, Josh. So SC2 was definitely just an experience of a lifetime. A lot of great talks by a lot of great people. One of the biggest things that really stood out to me was just the family aspect of the company. Being there, getting to just network with all these great sales reps and managers and stuff like that. Everybody just treats you like you're all family, and that's just amazing. That's something. I'm a very family oriented person, so that really kind of spoke volumes to me. There was a couple great talks. Jeff Bry did one on dream crafting. So we basically sat down, he went through different categories, and we wrote down our dreams for the future. And it was just a really great exercise to kind of keep you looking forward. You don't want to dwell on the past and what's happening in the past, because you're not going to be able to move forward. And I also had some good talks about like money management. Jess Miser talked about basically getting the most out of every single demo, and just a lot of great tips all around. Kalahari was just an amazing place to be. They had pretty sweet water park that we got to go hang out at the second day of the conference. Got to hang out with a lot of the reps, and just everybody was talking about Cutco. Everybody was talking about, their successes within the company. It was just a really great time to share your success, get recognized if you hit your push goals and stuff like that. But I mean, one of the biggest things that really stood out to me too was the fact that it doesn't matter how much you did in your push. It just matters that you actually tried and you actually stuck it out to the end. Because I was quite surprised to see that there was probably only like 10 or 15 people that actually hit their push goal. So don't get discouraged if you don't hit your push goals, because you're going to learn a lot throughout the whole entire experience of that push itself. So it's about, kind of sums it up, my key favorite things there.
Awesome stuff right there. You know, the road trips are fun too. Just to add on a couple things, like the road trips are fun. Just getting that extra time with people, because obviously, like what we do virtually, like on Zoom, we love this stuff for sure. But getting that time with your comrades, with your friends, with people on the team, and then also meeting really cool people from other teams too, and everything is just something that it definitely has an amazing place in our business. So definitely thank you for sharing that. Casey actually sent an email to Jeff Bry and Mr. Hammond because he was just so pumped like after the conference. He's got some big goals and awesome things are certainly coming his way. So thank you so much for sharing, Mr. Glass. That was fantastic. So next up, where is there he is. Isaac, I'm going to spotlight you. So Isaac, could you go ahead and what were your top takeaways, favorite things? Like you got the floor as much time as you need. Okay.
Cool. Well, I want to say thanks for Casey. He really summed up everything. So that's a tough act to follow for sure. But this was my second time in Kalahari. It was Casey's first, which was super cool. I was really glad that he was able to experience that. And with a lot of other people as well. Coming from a manager's perspective, it's really cool to see all the first timers come and really experience what we're about versus just over Zoom, like Josh was saying. It's quite an experience, to say the least. To be surrounded by people that are all pulling in the same direction that you want to go is super special. And again, it's a family at the end of the day. You know, we put the people first, and all the networks and the talks are fantastic, but the energy you get from every other person there, whether it's announcing their push weeks or just talking to you for a brief couple minutes or introducing themselves. Yeah, it's contagious, just like Josh said, and you want to be around that all the time. So if your goal is to grow, I ask you, why not put yourself in that environment when given the chance next time? So for anyone who didn't go to the conference, it's a must next time, even if it's our SC1 as a division, and definitely, most definitely our SC2. You definitely have to be there. It's just, it went by so fast because you're doing so much. You're getting pulled in every single direction, meeting new people, listening to great talks, and just growing in 2 short days. You know, I'd argue that you grow more in 2 days at this conference than you would in high school, all 4 years, even college. It's really something special to be learned. And definitely I'd say my favorite part was just being around everyone again. Again, the energy is contagious. My favorite talk was called Vector Trained by Jeff Bry. That's his wrap-up talk, just basically about really everything, the company and why we are who we are. And just that was giving me goosebumps, and towards the end as well. His biggest thing was, he said, you get knocked down, you get back up. And he just kept saying it with increased intensity, and you just got the chills, which was super awesome. That was probably my favorite talk to wrap up, because it really encompasses everything. And of course, the water park's great as well. You know, you have free time as well. But it's an amazing business conference, and definitely something to be at next time if you didn't get to go this time.
Awesome stuff right there, Isaac. I certainly like that Vector Train wrap up that Jeff Bry did. Holy crap, that just gets me juiced for sure. So I love that. And here's something that I think most people would not realize that stuck out to me in a really big way. One of my favorite parts about the conference is, so Jeff Bry is our region manager. He's over $400 million in sales. He's a multi-millionaire, has like an amazing house, like just like incredibly successful. His son sold Cutco 3 years ago, right after high school, sold for 2 years. And then his daughter just graduated high school this summer. So he shared some screenshots of his daughter, like before she started selling. And here's my biggest takeaway from that. Even the region manager's daughter, whose house was built on Cutco bucks, basically, like meaning like from the income that her dad has made since 18 years old while selling Cutco. Even his daughter was super, super nervous to start. Was anyone a little nervous to start, by the way? Raise your hand. Okay. Did anyone question whether or not they're going to sell anything? Did anyone do that? Okay. Even Jeff Bry's daughter questioned herself when like her brother sold $40,000 plus worth of Cutco his first summer. Jeff Bry's over 400 million. And they were definitely funny, Casey. And so even if the region manager's daughter can be super nervous to reach out to people, she had a chicken list as well. She reached out to people that had rejected her as well. So I want you to remember, next time you're like feeling nervous or something, you're not alone. You just get through it, okay? You just take action, just like Delaney Bry did. And Delaney sold $23,000 from the push. So she's over $40,000 in sales this summer. And that's with being super nervous, having a huge chicken list, not wanting to like call certain people, not wanting to do phone time, like all of that stuff. So I thought that was really beneficial for people to hear while we were at the conference. Cause it's like, holy crap, like who would have thought, You'd think that like with her dad being super successful or brother being super successful, like that she would like just expect to do really well as well. But it was the opposite. Like she was nervous. She was like terrified to get started, like all that stuff. So like my favorite one was Jeff was like, so when are we going to get you started with Cutco? Her response, preferably never. I thought that was so funny. Like, and the way he was describing it, like it was so funny. And then like she's talking in like 18-year-old slang, and Jeff Bry has no idea like what the hell she's talking about. Like he posted something, she's just like gang, and he's like, what the hell is gang? And then like he posts something else or whatever, and she's just like, bro. And Jeff's like, well, first of all, I'm not your bro. Like it was so funny. Like you guys, you had to, that it's what, oh yeah. Another one, like just like, why does she keep just responding in one word? Stressed. Like it was awesome. So it's one of those things where like, we can't really like, we can't even do it enough justice. Like everyone that was there knows it was freaking just ridiculously funny. But if you weren't there, it's kind of like describing a concert. Like I'm looking at like in the background when we first came on the screen was Metallica playing Enter Sandman in 1991 in Moscow, right after like the fall of communism, the fall of the Soviet Union. And I'm like, that looks badass as hell. Just so you guys can see for a second. Check this out. Okay. But as badass as this looks, there's no way you could ever like truly experience what that would be like when you have 300,000 people in the stands, just like they don't even speak English, but they know like every single word to Enter Sandman. Like just imagine how incredibly crazy like that would have been in 1991 with Metallica, with Lars, like with James, whatever his like frontman's name is. Like just imagine how crazy that would be. That's what SC2 is like for our sales representatives. Just without 300,000 people. That would be crazy though, right? So you can imagine what it'd be like if it was. So that's what you guys got to take away from what we were just talking about. Is it's one of those things that like when your manager is like, hey, you should really be at this event. Your manager knows from experience. Like your manager knows what it did for them, what it does for the people that came after them, and what it does for the people that are able to be at these conferences, meetings, like all those different things. So you don't want to miss the next one, okay? Because they're all amazing. It never fails that Vector shows up for these conferences to make it worth everybody's time, money, energy, all those things. So that's important to remember. Next up, what we want to talk about is, so we're going over all of these like cool things about August and yada, yada, yada. We got to do some planning, okay? We got to do some planning. So I want you to take out either a Word doc or sheet of paper or whatever it happens to be, something that you could take notes on, because you're going to send this to your manager at some point, okay? We got some questions. We got some questions. I think I put on like 8 to 10 of them, something like that, okay? And you're going to have a conversation with your manager about your answers to these questions. Sometime I would suggest within the next like 72 to 96 hours. I would say like Monday evening, like at the latest, I would definitely want to go over this with your manager, okay? So first question, what are your favorite parts about the job? Inversely, what are your least favorite parts about the job? I'm going to get some more Enter Sandman going, just so we have some background tunes. So favorite parts about the job and least favorite parts. We'll give you like 90 seconds basically per question, okay? Favorite parts about the job and your least favorite parts about the job. So journal about it, document it. What are some things you love? Some things that you don't love? Probably everybody's least favorite thing, or most people's least favorite thing, would be like phone time. That's almost everyone. What are your favorite and least favorite parts about the position? Is it the thrill of the sale? Is it team meetings? Is it the camaraderie? Is it the flexibility? Could be a bunch of things. What are your least favorite parts? Like in football, my least favorite part about football was two-a-days at the beginning of the season. But they're also necessary for our team to dominate people too. Because everyone else was working super hard doing two-a-days. Some schools doing three-a-days. But we had to make sure that we were working really hard too. So yeah, sure. I'm sure we could have practiced less. But then we also would not have had the success we did either. So next, this one's just like 30 seconds. When's your first day of classes this fall if you're in school? So try to think about that. That one only needs like 30 seconds. If you're in school this fall, when's your first day of classes? A lot of people go back to school the weekend of either the 20th, 21st, or the following weekend on the 27th, 28th weekend, depending on what school you go to, right? Some might even be the week before that. But next up, with that being said then, how much time do you have to sell either full-time or part-time before school starts? Do you have 3 weeks? Do you have 2 weeks? Do you have 4 weeks? Do you have unlimited weeks because you're not going to school? How much time do you have to sell? Full-time or part-time before school starts? What are those days where like you need to do stuff with your mom or whatever. Now, this next part, I want to be very clear on, okay? And I would say that one of the most common mistakes that new representatives make during the end of the summer is they think that they need to devote the entire last 3 weeks before they go back to college to hang out with their mom or hang out with their dad or just something crazy. Or they think that it's going to take them like 2 weeks to, quote, prepare for college. No, it doesn't. Like that, like, I'm just going to be realistic with you. It doesn't take that long to prepare for college. You probably have a checklist of things that you need to pick up, which you could probably accomplish within like a 2-hour time span. And you're not going to be hanging out with your mom 24/7. Like, is your mom just going to stop her life because you're going back to school? No. Is she going to just like, if she works, like, is she going to just like stop going to work these last 3 weeks, like to hang out with you? No, you're not that cool. You're cool, but you're probably not that cool. Okay. So I say that in jest, but I've seen a lot of representatives over the course of the last 15 years make some serious over-exaggeration mistakes of how much time they need to get stuff done. Don't be one of those people. It's like you're not a child, okay? So like you can be an adult in this situation because there's still some things left at stake. So what could be at stake for you? What could you be going for? So could you be going for President's Club? Like if you started in May, President's Club is $10,000 in sales. If you start in June, it's $8,000. If you start in July or August, it's $6,000 in sales. If you're going for an All-American scholarship, you got to finish big for that for sure. If you're going for Dirty 30, like, for example, you're super close to 10K in sales. You're at like 6,000, 7,000, 8,000. Make sure you hit it. Get that 30% promotion. For many of you, TLA is on the line, the Leadership Academy. So what can you do to improve your spot to make sure that you get inducted into the Leadership Academy? Next, for some of you, this month is your redemption month. Maybe July didn't go the way you wanted it to. Maybe June didn't. Maybe May didn't. Maybe all 3 months didn't go the way you wanted them to. But this is your month to redeem yourself. This is your month to make it happen, okay? Make it happen. So now what I want you to think about, next question, jot this down. What's your CPO goal between now with August 5th and August 29th, the last day of the campaign? There's 24 days, okay? What's your CPO goal? 24 days left. Basically 3.5 weeks. 3.5 weeks between now and the last day of the campaign. Just to give you an idea, I did a demo on my way to college. Like my car was completely packed with Buff State stuff. Like I did a demo on my way to school. I had goals. So what's your CPO goal between now and August 29th, the last day of the campaign? Maybe you want to sell $4,000. Maybe you want to sell $6,000. Maybe you want to sell $8,000. Maybe you want to sell $11,000 and win 100% of the Bahamas. Whatever it happens to be, right? And then next up, what's your must do, your should do, and your could do for total summer CPO? Let me explain this for a second before you put down these answers, okay? Your must-do goal, let's say right now you're at $20,000 in sales for the summer, okay? Your must-do goal is the goal that we could like stamp it, like sign it, deliver this to Jeff Fry and Chris Hammond, that no matter what, we can count on you to hit this minimum number, okay? Like, let's say you're at 20,000. Like, I know for a fact I will at a minimum get to 22,000 this summer. As an example. Like, I know for certain I will get here. Like, I would bet my life on it. I would bet anything on it. Like, on my family or whatever. Like, it's going to happen. Your should-do goal is based on what you expect to do, what you normally do, whatever it is, or what you should be doing for the month of August. That's how much it would be. Like, let's say you're at 20. Let's say your should-do goal is you want to get to 25,000 in summer CPO. Now, your could-do goal, that's the highest one. That's the one that's like your stretch goal. That's the one that's going to take some things to go right. But if the cards fall into place, you're going to hit that highest goal. Let's say you're at 20K again. It's going to be like 22 is your minimum, 25 is your should do. But if things really crank, you're hitting 30K. Something like that for the summer. Okay? So your must do, your should do, and your could do. Now, how many demos will it take? Well, if you average 5 to 7, like the average representative, it takes 5 to 7 demonstrations for every $1,000 that they sell. It takes 5 to 10 calls for every 1 demo to book up. So let's say you want to sell $5,000 worth of Cutco. If you're on the high end of efficiency, it'll take you around like 25 demos. If you're on the lower end of efficiency, it'll take probably 35 to 40 demos. Let's use 25 as the example. That means that you'd have to make at least 125 calls, upwards of like 250 calls to reach that $5,000 CPO goal. Again, 5 to 7 demos per 1,000, 5 to 10 calls per 1 demo. That's how many demos, how many calls it will take. Okay? Couple final questions here. What are your fall plans, both inside and outside of Cutco? Are you rushing a sorority or a fraternity? Are you playing a sport? Are you traveling? Going out of country? Like, what do you do? What are your plans? What are your plans for inside of Cutco? Are you just working part-time, focusing on a 3, 5, 7, or 10 program? If you're super busy, shoot for 3 to 5 demos a week. If you're like kind of busy, shoot for 5 to 7 demos a week. If you don't feel like you have too much going on, go for 7 to 10 plus demos per week. What are your plans for inside and outside of Cutco? Next, what are you most excited about? What opportunity would you be most excited about for next summer? Is it selling, like at that whatever commission level you're at by that time, which would almost like be 30% or higher? Is it assisting, being an assistant manager, running interviews, coaching reps, helping with recruiting? Or do you have even bigger plans that you want to branch next summer? You want to take advantage of 50% commission for July, August, and September, guaranteed, straight 50%. You want to have your own team. You want to be a part of your district team, but also like having your own crew. How exciting would that be? Selling, assisting, branch. Like, what are you looking to do next summer? And then the most important thing to focus on now is just finishing the month of August strong. That's it. Finish strong. Finish what you started. New campaign starts on August 30th. Okay? New campaign August 30th. Your career sales don't reset or anything like that, but like it's kind of like a new season in Vector. Okay? So the most important thing that you can focus on right now is definitely finishing strong, 100%. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're sharing your answers to those questions with your district manager, okay? You want to make sure you're sharing all those answers with your district manager. Set up a time with your DM where you guys can go over it, talk about it, all those things. That helps in a major, major way, okay? That helps big time. Now that you've broken down things a little bit, you can make a plan, like a very specific. So that's like the general stuff. So you know like what you need to do. Now it's about how to do it. Make the plan on how to get there. You know that for every 1,000 in sales you want to do, it'll take probably 5 to 7 appointments. You know, for every 1 appointment you want to do, it'll typically take 5 to 10 calls, right? So you can plan out when you're doing your phone times. I would recommend doing them at the best times to call. Before like 9:30 a.m. on weekdays and after 6 p.m. on weekdays, Saturday mornings and Sunday afternoon, evenings. When you're calling like in the middle of the day, like 12, 1, 2, 3 o'clock, that can be very hit or miss, just so you know, okay? So that's important to remember, everyone. Super, super, super important. Now, with that being said, we certainly want to, like when we dive into our phone jam here in a few minutes, we want to have those goals in mind. Like, I'm working for something now. I'm working for President's Club. I'm working for All-American Scholarship. I'm working for the Dirty 30. I'm working for making my kids proud, making myself proud, making my manager proud because my manager believes in me. Proving the people right that want you to succeed. That's what it's all about. And proving the doubters wrong, because there will always be doubters. Doesn't matter who you are, there will always, always, always be doubters, okay? So, does anyone want to share anything that they just wrote down, anything that they're excited about, and like raise your virtual hand, or because there's the little virtual hand thingy. Anyone want to share before I volunteer people? Perfect. Casey, go ahead.
All right. So a couple things that I'm excited for by the end of August. I am shooting to hit my 50K promotion. That's one of the biggest things that I'm really working towards. I was hoping to be there already, but July did not definitely go the way that I planned it to. So going to find out. I just started my service calls, so I'm going to be doing a ton of those and really hoping to get to that 50K.
I like it. 50K, that's a fantastic goal for sure. So like it. Thank you for sharing, Casey. Anyone else want to share anything that they just wrote down, something that they're excited about? Caitlin's week didn't go as she planned either. That's okay. Just we're on a new week now. So we'll learn from the past. Okay, we'll learn from it. But we're not going to dwell on it, right? So if something doesn't go your way, don't stay there for too long. Move along and just get better and learn from it, right? So anyone else want to either in the chat or like out loud, if you want to raise your virtual hand. Anything else people want to share?
Josh, I'm going to sell a lot more knives. You can guarantee it.
So Case is going to sell a lot of knives. He sells a lot of blades. He's coming up on his court of honor, for which is really, really exciting. So that's definitely pretty sweet. So Case, just to give them an idea, how much you sold this week in 3 days?
Between Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday,
Yep.
I've sold just about 20.
You cut out.
What's the service like? Can you hear me?
They didn't hear you. So in those 3 days, how much you sell? Hello?
Service isn't great, but just about 20,000.
You guys hear that?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we heard it. So
Yep, this is
20,000.
in Little Valley. This is in Little Valley, New York. This is a small town, but guess what? People like American made. They like that it's going to last their family for the next 20, 30, 40 years. But the average person is spending about $1,000 worth of their money with me. So, small town, buy Cutco.
Small little town, Little Valley, New York, county fair, $20,000 in sales in 3 days, $1,000 average order. Who here would be pumped if you had $1,000 average order? Anyone? Of course. So you got to remember, that's not like, this is year 12 for Case, right? So you got to remember, it didn't start out like that. He just consistently kept getting better and better and better and better and better and better at the position. So you guys can get there too with time, work, attention, and focus and grit. You can absolutely get there in a really, really big way. Okay. So that's important. So next, anyone else want to share any other takeaways or anything like that you guys liked from today, or things that really clicked or made sense or whatever it happens to be? Any final thoughts?
I just wanted to say, Josh, I hit my $1 million number.
So Case hit $1 million. Great job, Case. That's amazing. Guys, so that means he's now in our company court of honor. So you see this like little trophy right here, like in the triangle above my head? That means Case is going to get the coolest friggin' trophy in all of Vector, which is this one, that one right there. He's going to get the ring. It's got the rubies in it. And when he hits Hall of Fame, they're going to replace those rubies with diamonds. He's going to get a big presentation at one of our Cutco conferences, like the whole works. It's going to be sick. So congrats, Case. That's awesome. $1 million. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears reported to that. Not really tears, but a lot of blood and sweat for sure, because I think you cut yourself twice. But a lot of good things happen along the way. So that's amazing for sure. So definitely great job, Case. So that's incredible. So any final thoughts, any final words before we kick off our phone jam right here? Okay, my final thoughts then, guys. Finish August strong, okay? Finish strong, finish the campaign, finish out what you started. Don't let what you cannot do interfere with what you can do. So don't worry what you can't do, just focus on what you can do. Send those answers to your district manager as well, like all the things that we just talked about, so your district manager knows what you're aiming for. And let's kick this snot out of August, because it's going to be absolutely positively nasty. So in this phone jam, let's go ahead. Let's make sure questions on phone, people to call, ask your manager. That's more of a one-on-one conversation, not like in the chat. So make sure that you ask your manager and get some time with them, help you increase your names list. Go on the bufferupdashboard.com. Tons of resources to increase your names list, okay? So I'm putting Metallica back on for the next half an hour. Let's go ahead. Let's get this phone jam going. Let's do it.